is a D6 generation pip. Yeah, one of those dots on the side of a six-sided die. Yeah, a pip. You know, a short pip. Little something. Yeah, about anything gaming related. Sometimes featuring Craig, sometimes featuring Russ. We'll see what's coming up today.
Hey, welcome back to another Pip, and we have with us today, Craig.
Yes, who do we have? I'm blind. Technology just doesn't work for me.
We have Raef Hollywood Granger in the house. How's it going, Raef?
Oh, you're making me blush. I'm smiling. It's going well. Thank you.
It's going. I'm glad to hear that. And you know, it's time for Craig.
It better be time for the predictions episode, because 2 days ago I didn't have a voice at all, and I'm dragging myself down here to record because somebody told me the most popular show of the year was up.
It is. It's time for the annual predictions episode. We're sneaking it in right at the end of the year. This will be an episode in two parts, Raef. 2 parts.
A pip in 2 parts.
A pip and two dots.
Pip A is where we review our predictions from last year, of course, and assess how we did. And then following right on the heels here before the 1st of January, Pip 2 will come out, which is our predictions for 2020. So an action-packed couple of episodes here. Now, do you gentlemen remember the complex and highly sophisticated and iterated for 11 years, optimized, if you will, predictions game rules?
Yes, I do.
I remember them, and even though they're written down, I still think you should explain them.
Okay, sure. So again, these have been optimized. They've been suggested by listeners and refined for over a decade now, gentlemen. Over a decade of research, development, and iteration has occurred in the D6G annual predictions episode. And so the first rule, each of us are going to have made, last year we made 7 predictions.
Yep.
Each prediction, the first rule is your prediction must be quantifiable.
Right.
That's the very first
within
rule
the year, right?
Yes, in the first year. The second rule is that each prediction is worth 1 point. So if you're right, but it's +1 for being right if any host disagreed with you. So when you made that prediction, Raef and I, or Craig and I, or whoever, the other 2 hosts either disagreed or agreed with you. So if they disagreed with you, theoretically, it was a tougher prediction. And so you get bonus points for being for each host who disagreed with you. Yep. If you're out and out wrong, it's -1 point. And you don't want to have a no opinion because it's -1 point. So you would never do that.
Right. No, yeah.
But all the information is public, right? So you can't base your prediction on any insider information or anything.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
That goes without saying, yeah.
And also, when making those predictions, if everybody agreed with you, then you have the option to sort of kick it up a notch and try to make it a little more...
Earn yourself a few more points.
Exactly. Does that make sense? Does everybody remember those? Did it come across okay, gentlemen?
Yeah, and we would boost it in order to get somebody to disagree. Is that right?
Exactly. So if I make a prediction and you both were like, oh, that's easy, I have the option to make it more refined. Like instead of saying I'm going to play 6 games of War Machine this year, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going up into 10, and then you might be going, nah, it'll never happen.
All right. But the minute one person disagrees, you can now not boost.
That's correct. If one person disagrees with you, you got to live with your prediction.
You're locked in.
I just have one question.
Sure.
Isn't there a way, because I want to be prepared in case you guys do this to me, mainly Ross, Craig.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't there some sort of way to meta game this? So, like you're either getting them to agree and then a boost or not. I can't remember.
If there's a meta game, I don't know what it is. And I think that'll be evident. Right. I think that'll be evident by my stellar score.
Do we talk about who won last year, or no? We don't do that.
So Craig tracks everything. So Craig is our scorekeeper, right? Craig, you ready to go on that?
I do, but I don't remember who won last year.
We don't know. Last year's irrelevant. It's a whole new year. I want to forget who won last year. We're going to move on from that. There's no reason to drag up like long-term records or who's won the most or how many times Russ has lost. None of that is relevant.
None of that is relevant. Correct.
No. If long-time listeners want to write in and remind us, send those to Raef. At grangerlaw.com. But meanwhile,
Raef at raefgranger.com. I'd like to see the tally because I might be ahead.
All right. So it's time. I think it's time to jump right into this. Let's look at how we did last year. These were the things we predicted back in December of 2018. These were things a year ago, today, even longer, slightly longer than a year ago. These are things we thought for sure were going to occur within the next 12 months. So, Raef, do you remember what your first prediction was last year?
I don't remember, but again, it's here written for me.
Okay, good. I'm glad we did something like that.
So thank you, Russ.
Yes.
Okay. I predicted that I would play lead guitar at a gig.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. You did predict that.
I did.
How did that go?
And you two,
and
very nicely, as good supportive friends, agreed.
Yes. You did agree.
Now, I can't remember. Do you guys remember that last year I didn't even have a band? Did I tell you how the band broke up?
It did break up, but you felt confident that you were going to get back on the wagon.
Yeah. So here's the interesting backstory. Mm-hmm. I did get back on the wagon, founded a new band, new singer, a new drummer. We even had a new bass player for a little while there. Then he had family commitments. He had to go do something else. So I did play solo guitarist, meaning I was the only guitar in the band. No other guitarist I could hide behind. But sadly, I played no lead guitar, meaning, solo, a lead solo.
Okay.
So since one could argue I played all by myself, therefore I was a lead guitar, but that's not what I meant. What I meant was a solo, like Eddie Van Halen style.
Right.
So I lost.
Bad luck there. So Craig and I both agreed with you.
Correct.
So looking at our high value scoring system here, Craig, what does that mean that the score is after Craig? Just to remind the listeners how it works. How did everybody just score right there?
Raef is going to get it -1 for being wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I get zeros for agreeing, but it was wrong. You don't
correct.
lose a point for agreeing if it's wrong.
That's the part I couldn't remember. Okay.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. So there it is. So here was my prediction. My first prediction for last year. Remember, we do 7 predictions each. So Craig was, we don't know what Craig said. Raef said he was going to play lead guitar. I had a prediction about how I was going to change how I gamed. So my entire life, most of my gaming career, hobby life, whatever. Most of that I've enjoyed, and I prefer to play at gaming stores where I meet new people and socialize, yada, yada, yada. So that's what I've done most of my life. But my wife's not taking out the trash, so that's nice. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wait, leave Russ. We need him for at least 2 more hours.
She's taking out more trash. Wait. When you can't look at here, this Christmas present. No, move along. Nothing to see here.
This is a trash can.
All right,
Christmas present's
fine.
in the trash can.
No,
we have a problem.
Fine.
That was a good one, Craig.
All right.
Thank you, Raef. I thought that one just went off into the ether.
That was funny.
All right. So contrary to how I've gamed my entire life, preferring to play at gaming stores, I predicted I would start a regular gaming group at my house.
Yes.
And I specifically said my D&D group with my family didn't count.
You did say that. Yep.
Yes. Yep. So I said in 2019, that group or a group at my house, not my family, would meet and game at least 6 times.
Yep.
Politely, you both agreed with me. Now,
again, being so supportive.
I know. Now, the good news is I did actually form, and we talked about it on the show, a new group called Dice and Discussions, which was designed to play board games, but also have political discussions to try to, see if we could heal the wounds from 2016 elections, all that stuff. And we did meet 4 times, which is fantastic. However, we ran into it's kind of funny. We met 4 times in the first half of the year and then crashed and burned in the summer and got in 1 meeting, and then that was it. So it kind of fell apart in the fall. So unfortunately, despite my best efforts, we only got in 4 meetings instead of 6. So I have to take that as a wrong.
Now, I have to say about that too, Craig. I was really flattered when I was invited to Dice and Discussion. I was like, oh,
yeah, so was I.
I feel special. Yeah, now not so much. I see what he did there.
Yeah,
I see what he did there, Craig.
You didn't think that when he made this prediction, he had all that already in mind?
Oh, he did. Absolutely. I just forgot there was even a prediction.
It would be fun, and so I said, so I agreed.
No, me and my complete naivete.
I agreed in a blatant attempt to kiss butt and get myself an invite, and it worked.
Yeah, I forgot about the prediction.
Well, there you have it.
Not enough, though. And it wasn't for lack of trying either.
No, we really did try.
It wasn't. Oh, wait a minute. Who's the one person who we couldn't get to? I think Raef figured it out sometime during the summer, Russ.
It did sort of crash and burn in the summer. So sad, but I was excited that we did 4 times. I wish it would have been a few more, but it was fun. So unfortunately, that's a big negative one for me.
Don't give up on it. Don't give up on it.
No, I think
you lost the prediction, but that doesn't mean, in real life.
Well,
I'd like to keep going.
Not to give a spoiler, but there may be more predictions about this coming soon.
Oh.
Okay. Craig, what was your first prediction for 2019?
Okay, well, continuing with the sense of brotherhood and support that we set up with Raef's prediction, where we both agreed, and Russ's prediction, where we both agreed, I predicted something and you both disagreed.
We did.
I said that GW would release, they've been releasing games like gangbusters. I said they would release 2 more new games in 2019 that we hadn't heard of.
Mm-hmm.
And you both disagreed with me.
We did.
And right now, Russ and I are playing Aeronautica Imperialis.
That's one.
That game looks fun.
Yeah.
And Russ, when we were playing the other night at the store, you saw Warcry.
But wasn't Warcry announced last year?
Which was teased in March of 2019. At Gamma Trade Show, and released a few months later. In addition to, just in case I got to cover all my bases, there were several smaller introductory games that they came out with that are basically board games, but use like the Age of Sigmar and the 40K what are they called? Primaris Marines as the game pieces, as gateway games. And if you go to Barnes & Noble, which I did recently, you will see 4 or 5, 3 or 4. Well, I won't exaggerate, but 3 or 4 of these games that didn't exist last year that are now all out there, either children's games that use little plastic space marines to try to get you in, or a simplified version of the game, but in a little board game state. So they've really flooded that particular market as well to try to bring in new blood.
Okay, so
I think it counts.
That counts to me. I think Warcry and Aeronautica by themselves probably did it. So, Raef, we gave him a big win there.
Yeah, we did.
That is a 3-pointer for Craig. One for being right, plus 1 for each disagreement. Yeah. So 3 points. Nicely done.
So at the end of round 1, it is -1, -1, and 3.
Yep. This is happening again, Raef. I'm not saying I remember who won last year. I'm not saying I remember who won the most of all the times we've done this. I'm just saying the person that hates this part of the show every year the most seems to do pretty well.
That's my recollection as well.
All right. Yeah. All right. Round 2.
Right.
Raef.
Right.
Raef, you had a prediction about a movie that came out recently, I think.
I did, and I hope you looked it up because I don't know how to look this stuff up.
Okay.
All right. Star Wars Episode 9, releasing 12/20/19, will release on time. I think it did that, but I'm not sure.
It did release on time, yes.
Okay. It will tie or beat Force Awakens in Rotten Tomatoes in the critics section.
All right. I'm looking at it right now. So The Rise of Skywalker was is 56%. Okay. And you said it was going to beat The Force Awakens?
Tie or beat.
The Force Awakens, 93%.
Oh,
wait a minute. In the critics section?
They did.
Yes.
Critics, 93.
Wow. You should have called this middle one.
Wow.
Calling The Force Awakens. Yeah.
Well,
because
I know that this is not time for a Star Wars Episode 9, but I agree with the critics.
Okay. Well,
enough.
Well, Craig and Russ both disagree.
Last Jedi was 91. Oof.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. So, in any case. Yeah. So that
you
means
picked up some points on this one.
We did. So, Rafe, you were wrong. So -1. Yep. And because Craig and I both disagreed with you, we each score a point.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Win. All right. Well, I'm not going to have that point for long because. So So my prediction was about Gen Con 2020. Yep. I'm sorry. Yep. I wrote Gen Con 2020, but I'm pretty sure I meant 2019.
Yeah, you meant 2019.
Another rule is you have to predict something that happens in the next year.
Yeah, so. That's a typo.
In the future, not the past.
Yep. I said I thought Gen Con was going to be a little lower this year. And so I thought the attendance would be below 60,000. And I said it would be the lowest since 2015. And I thought it'd be that way because of increasing competition with more conventions. And, a lot of people were feeling that Gen Con was a little crowded. Craig disagreed with me. Raef disagreed with me. And the chat room was online, and they also disagreed with me. So everybody disagreed with me. And all of you were right, because I looked it up, and Gen Con this past year was nearly 70,000. So it's not growing as fast as it used to, but it's still hitting all-time highs. So I was totally wrong about that. I apologize to Gen Con fans, but there you have it. So that's not a good one for me. I get a -1, and you guys.
I like how your negativity was not rewarded, right, Craig?
It was not. I like to stay positive. I think that may have been my problem there.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. What's the next one, Craig?
You know what? I feel so alone right now. Right. Way at the head of the pack. Yeah, I feel like I want to feel the warm embrace of the D6G bosom once again. And so I predicted that my willpower was equal to the task of not backing a single Kickstarter for a second year in a row. I said I would go through all of 2019 without a single Kickstarter, with the caveat, which doesn't have any effect on points, but I said if there was a terrain crate Mark II from Mantic, that would be very difficult for me to keep this prediction. And sadly, there was a terrain crate Mark II, and sadly, I jumped in on it whole hog.
Yeah.
And then sadly, there was another Joan of Arc Kickstarter, and sadly, I was in on that. And then there was this Kickstarter called Rampart, which was some really cool terrain that the stretch goals went really insane towards the end, and I was in on that as well. So I went from 0 to 3.
Yeah.
Sadly, that results in a -1 for me, an epic fail, if you will. And each of you who disagreed with me, wisely, each picked up a point.
Including the chat room.
Now, here's
Yes, the chat room disagreed with me as well. How well they know.
Here's my favorite part of this, is that we allow in this game, we can make predictions that we totally could either make true or not make true. And Craig...
I do it regularly and fail.
It fails. And Russ and I both are like, yeah, that's not going to happen.
No.
I love it.
And it's all in my power.
It's all in your power. That's what I mean. Power. Yeah. And was the Marvel
one
a Kickstarter?
Of course, I get this. No, the Marvel Crisis Protocol was not a Kickstarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the points?
And the points is you each pick up a point and I lose a point on that.
No, I mean, what's the total now?
Oh, the total. I'm still monologuing. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Don't get your cape.
Well, now my monologue is all thrown off.
Oh,
anyway.
Sorry.
Score currently is 0-0-4. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Oh, that win there just brought me to 0? That
well,
stinks.
you had -1 last time, man.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well, wait, I disagreed with Russ and I won that point. If I was at
Raef,
-1.
You wait, yeah. Oh no, because you lost your this last you gained a point, but then you lost a point because you were wrong on your prediction.
Oh, okay.
Don't doubt the spreadsheet.
Felt like I had a winning run.
I mean, you can totally doubt the spreadsheet because I'm the one who programmed it. But in this instance, the program was true.
Okay. Russ, you do the next one.
All right.
Go first out of round 3.
Oh, out of round 3. Okay. I had a bold prediction.
You did.
That only the chat room got right. So I said I was looking forward to the new Star Wars attractions opening in the Disney theme parks.
Yeah.
And so I'd done a bit of research. And I was wrong on several levels in this prediction. So right out of the gate. So I'd done some research, and I'd researched that Disney California Adventure and Disney Hollywood Studios were currently number 13 and number 9 as most attended theme parks in the world. Because in this particular list I was looking at, they break out the individual Disney parks. They don't just group them all together. And I felt that with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opening in this past year in April in Disneyland and in the fall in Disney World, it would move both those parks to number one. Now, the problem with this prediction was broken right off the bat because they put Galaxy's Edge not in Disney California Adventure, but it's actually technically part of Disneyland. So
wait, is that Florida? Disneyland's Florida?
No, Disneyland is California. So first problem was I had the wrong theme park. But the second part was, Craig, you agreed with me. Raef, you agreed with me. The chat room called it would be unanswerable, and they are correct because the 2019 attendance numbers are not available yet. And early signs make it very hard to say because Disney released a bunch of press around how attendance didn't seem to be as high as they expected. But there's different schools of thought about why they did that to get more people to come or whatever. But then profits and attendance numbers going into the mid of Q4 looked really good. So it's hard to say. So anyway, so I'm just going to have to take this as a no because it's not measurable at the end of the year, basically.
Gotcha.
So, and doing research, I found the numbers I looked at for 2018 were released in the spring of 2019. So the 2017. So I won't even know the answer to this until next summer or something. So unfortunately, I didn't predict something that was measurable, so I got to take the fault on this one. So I get a -1, and you guys, since you agreed with me, scored nothing.
And if it's a close game, you get to maybe 6 months from now say you won if this comes true somehow.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Well, Russ is taking an L on that one. Are you?
I am.
Yep,
yes.
yep.
So 0 for me, but 0
It's
for you
honorable.
guys because everybody agreed.
Well, it's not 0 for you. It's -1. For
Oh,
you.
-1. Yes, you're right.
If we're saying it's a true L.
No. It's an L. I took a loss.
Okay.
All right. Raef, what was your prediction?
My prediction was a Russ prediction.
No.
Russ will play a greater diversity of game titles in 2019 than he did in 2018. So a greater number of games titles than last year. And we figured we will know this because you track your games somehow.
All right. I just counted it. And unfortunately, I have bad news for you. So I played 25 different games this in 2019, but I played 32 different games.
Dang. What's really funny is you disagreed, which means you win.
I know.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You get the point on that.
I kind of felt like I wouldn't be able to game as much, and I was right.
Yeah. I don't think you metagamed it. I'm not.
No, I didn't metagame it.
If it was 31, then I would have considered that. But
right. So sadly, I get a point for disagreeing. Woo-hoo!
Yes, you
do. The chat room also knew me well and disagreed with you also. So
yes, they did.
All right. Craig, what was your prediction for?
My prediction was that Black Panther would be the first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to win an Oscar in the televised ceremony.
Yeah.
They won Best Costume Design and Best Production Design, but those were in the technical, non-televised ceremony.
Yeah.
They also won Best Original Musical Score, which I believe is televised, but I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, uh-oh.
But
now
they
we got
were
a problem.
considered to have completely blown up the Oscars for winning 3 Oscars.
Were they?
And setting up the Marvel crisis. I mean,
Raef, you're the lawyer. You got to call it.
It's a win.
All right, I allow it.
Okay,
It's a
I'll
win.
Take it.
Yet again, proving, Russ, that
We all
Craig,
know what's going to happen here.
I don't know how I do it.
I don't understand. I hate this
Rafe
episode.
agreed with me.
I hate this episode.
Oh, I did? Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I don't agree with this lawyer at all.
Shenanigans.
I actually thought I disagreed.
Wait a minute. You're both wrong.
That's fine.
All right, fine. Craig, what's the score at the end of round 3?
So at the end of round 3, the score is now Russ at 0, Rafe at 0, and me at 6 points.
But you're leading. That's the important thing to note. All right.
At the moment.
Rafe, save us. What was your prediction in round 4?
Well, it's funny. My prediction is Stoney is making pies again in Latro, and I'll get to level 120 before the end of the year. And sadly, that was not true. But in the amount of time it took Craig to calculate the score, I leveled Stoney to 120. So I win.
Nice.
So
Did you really?
Stoney is not at 120. I did play a lot of Latro, but I must be a slow leveler.
And we all disagree with you. So, Craig, if you're writing this down, that's -1 for Rafe.
Yes,
and
indeed.
+1 for each of us.
Correct.
All right.
Craig should go next.
All right, Craig, what was your prediction for?
What was
Rafe, I think when you change the order up, it throws off the score key.
Oh, okay.
Russ, you throw that out there.
That may have been.
I'm just going to throw that out there. I think that's throwing off the score key.
I didn't want to show how shallow my knowledge of all of this was, but
yes.
All right, Russ, go ahead.
All right, we'll keep it in the store. So my turn. Private. Okay, this was also. First of all, it just came out, but in November. But anyway, Privateer Press's new campaign setting, War Machine Oblivion. It was a campaign book. There's like cards for the campaign mode. There's special figures, a whole new faction launch.
It was gonna be great.
It just came out. It looks awesome. And they're releasing the Infernals faction. Will fire up War Machine for Rafe and me and Rose and potentially a bunch of other local players. And Rafe and Russ and my daughter will play the campaign to finish, and we'll know at least 5 other people doing the same. That was very optimistic, considering that I guess I thought Oblivion was coming out much earlier in the year. Because
when did it come out?
Last month, November.
Oh, wow.
It just came out. So that wasn't going to happen. I think I was more optimistic about it. I don't know if it got delayed or it was just always that was the date. I don't know. I actually, side note, Rose and I are about to play War Machine this week, as a matter of fact. However, not more than one game, and certainly not the Oblivion campaign, although I am mildly interested in it. So sadly, smartly, you both disagree with me.
There just seemed to be too many data points in that.
It was a very I was very aggressive in last year. I really were. Yeah, I was going for the big scores, but I went big and I lost big. So I get a big -1 on that one. And you guys each get a point.
Yes.
All right. Craig, what was your prediction?
My prediction was that I would play at least 12 games of Star Wars Legion, Adeptus Titanicus, Warhammer 40K, Song of Ice and Fire. And I meant among those 4, I would play 12 games.
Yes.
Russ agreed with me.
I knew you had it, man. I knew you had it. I had faith, Craig.
Yeah.
Faith.
And Rafe disagreed. The chat agreed with me.
Yeah.
And I played, of those 4 titles, I played 30 games.
Nice.
Jeez. Wow.
I played 12 Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, I was in most of those.
12 games of 40K. You were in all of those.
I was in none of the 40, maybe
none
one
of
40K.
Those. None of those. 3 Adeptus Titanicus. You were in a couple of those.
Yep.
And 3 Legion, you were in 2 out of the 3 of those.
It felt like there was more than 3 Legion games to me. But
there may have been. To be honest, towards the end, I stopped tracking, and then I went back and tried to remember them all. Because up until November, I actually had every game and the date and the score and my opponent all done up and set up, and I was being a good little doobie. And then November came along and kicked my butt, and I just kind of that went by the wayside.
All right.
But,
I think I'm remembering the metagame. It's about this time that I think to just follow Craig. So just whatever he picks, I'm just going to agree.
So, Craig, you
I got 2 points there.
2 points because Rafe disagreed, and I get 1 for agreeing with you.
Yes, and Rafe gets none because he disagreed.
That's correct.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Craig, what's the score at the end of round 4? Do it in 30 seconds and let's go.
This is just getting embarrassing.
All right.
Russ with 1 point.
Yes.
Rafe with 0 points.
Yes.
And I now have 10 points.
Now, Rafe, this is the part where I introduced the metagame that you both forgot, which is there's the little known rule that actually low score wins. All right, moving on.
Russ is playing
that was
golf.
a dud.
It's like golf. It didn't work. All right, round 5. Rafe, what was your prediction for round 5?
All right, get checking for me here, Russ.
All right, I got you.
All right, my prediction was that Spider-Man Far From Home will beat Spider-Man Homecoming using the audience score of Rotten Tomatoes.
You just like to mix it up.
Yeah, he did mix it up.
I mixed it up.
All right.
And
Spider-Man.
Mr. Speedy on the keyboard over there.
Far From Home scored 95 by the audience.
Oh, yeah.
I see that.
And what was the other one?
Homecoming.
Homecoming. I can't find it. Spider-Man Home.
Spider-Man Home.
Let's see. Spider-Man.
Got it. Okay. It was an 87. It did.
I would like to personally thank Tony Stark for dragging us across the finish line on this prediction.
Yeah, there you go. So I disagreed with you. So that gives you 2 points, Rafe. And Craig agreed with you, so he scores 1.
Yes.
Let the record show the chat room agreed with me, so I had good company on that one.
You did. You did.
All right. I was so optimistic in 2018. It was really okay. So I said for my 5th prediction, I said that 2019 would mark a stronger return to miniature games for me.
I had so much faith in you, Russ.
Than past, and I would focus on 2 games. I was going to paint up. Here's where I got in trouble. I got specific because again I was going big. I said I was going to paint up my Speed Freaks force. I was really gung-ho for Orcs and 40K at that point. I also said that it'd be the first year where I play a material number of 40K and War Machine games in the same year, at least 8 of each. But I won't get much beyond those 2 games in Joan of Arc. And man, I was really wrong on this. So, Rafe, you disagree with me? Smart. Craig, you agreed with me? Dumb.
Dumb.
So basically,
no, really, candy coat it for me, Russ.
Right. So basically, I did get back into several miniature games. I mean, I painted up a lot of Legion, Aeronautica, Song of Ice and Fire. I just bailed on 40K because game length. Yeah. So
and War Machine.
Yeah, and I'm really into miniature games, just not those 2 apparently. So, so sadly, I get a big -1, and Rafe, you score a point.
Yeah.
All right, Craig, what was your round 5 prediction?
All right, my round 5 prediction was out of the box. I went sporty on this one, which upset Russ, and then he just, out of a fit of pique, agreed with me.
I did.
I said, at this point, at the point where we did the predictions episode last year, the New England Patriots were in a mid-season slump, and there were all kinds of rumors going around that that the Bill Belichick, the coach, or Tom Brady, the quarterback, were going to split ways, and there was anger, and everybody hated each other. And I said either there would be a huge shakeup and one of them would leave, or the team would win the Super Bowl. Okay. And the chat, just because they were filled with Patriots hatred, disagreed. And Rafe, I don't know why, he just had no faith. Your lack of faith is disturbing.
Had no faith.
He said he disagreed, but Russ, as again I say, in a fit of pique because I included sports in our
I played the metagame rule. If Craig is talking about something I don't understand, I just agree with him. That's my rule.
And that's what I do with computers, and yet somehow it doesn't work out for me.
Well, you don't know the other metagame rule, which is Russ always loses. That's the other one, which trumps all other rules.
Yeah, Russ sounds confident but loses.
Right.
So, exactly. Those of you without short-term memory loss will remember that the Patriots did indeed win their 6th Super Bowl last February, and so it was a Super Bowl win for the New England Patriots, a win for me, a win for Russ, and sadly 0 points for Rafe.
Dang.
So Craig scores 2, I score 1, Rafe gets nothing. So now we're going into round 6. Craig, how are we doing on the score?
We're all in positive territory. Russ, you are now at a score of 1.
Yeah.
Rafe, you are at 3. That's fantastic.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. He's climbing up out of the basement.
All right, so moving on to...
what are you at? Wait.
13. So
13.
We are now going to round 6.
Oh, my God. I don't think we can physically win now, Rafe.
I don't think so.
Oh, well, I think you get a lot of -1s here, maybe. I don't know. I don't think
I'm trying my best.
Okay, all right.
Round 6 is not your round, dude, if that's what you're trying to do.
All right.
Trying to do.
Rafe, go.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Russ will play more PS4 games than Xbox and be forced to tacitly admit that PS4 is better. And if that's true, he must say on the air right here, right now, the PS4 is better than the Xbox in 2019. No, and we counted full price AAA games.
Yeah, so there were 2 that I did enjoy. Detroit was awesome.
Oh, okay.
And so was the new Spider-Man game. the Spider-Man Marvel game. Both those are fantastic PS4 exclusives. However, the vast majority of the games I played this year were Xbox titles.
Oh, okay.
So sadly, I do not have to say PS4 is better, although I do like the PS4 a lot. But unfortunately, Raef, you're wrong on this one.
Ouch.
No good.
Ouch.
So everybody disagreed with you, Raef, including the chat room.
Yes.
So you get a negative one.
That room was very vicious up until my turn.
To be fair to them, they're always right.
They've been doing very good, though.
Yeah, they really have. We should get them their own scoreboard. So, Raef, you get -1, and Craig and I each score a point.
Yes, indeed.
Now, I also had a video game console prediction, Raef.
As we do.
Yeah, it's we got to have those. I said I was bullish, and I'm pretty sure listeners literally said to me as this show went live, that's not going to happen. They've already said they're not announcing. But I thought they were fooling everyone. So I said that the new Xbox and PlayStation consoles would be announced at E3 2019, which is back in June. I also went for bonus. I said the Xbox will release. I said the new Xbox will come out this year, like 2019.
Yep.
And then I came out with a bonus. And I said the new Xbox at first glance will appear more compelling than the PS5. Media will find the Xbox more compelling. So, interestingly, pretty much none of that, except for the very last little bit, is arguably true. So, PlayStation 5 was teased over the summer with some leaks. That was after E3. Xbox did announce, Microsoft did announce the next Xbox called Xbox Series X. More about that later.
Yes, agreed.
But it was way after E3. It obviously is not out yet. It doesn't come out till next year. I have seen some articles from the media that said they think that might have an advantage, but it's way too soon to say. So I'm going to take a big wrong on that whole thing. So big wrong. You guys all disagree with me though, Craig, including the chat room. Yeah. So I get -1, and you guys both get points.
Yep. That's the way it works.
There you go. And
Craig keeps on climbing.
Now, Craig.
Yeah.
Continuing his newfound role as just purveyor of positivity.
And soothsayer to the stars.
And soothsayer to the stars indeed. Right? My robes of foresight fit well.
They do.
Okay, with all of their glittery little symbols all over them.
Yes.
I said at least 2 more factions for A Song of Ice and Fire would be announced by the end of 2019.
Yeah.
And in fact, as we were doing that prediction episode, the Night's Watch and the Free Folk one had been released, the other had been teased.
I know, and I was really nervous. I was excited but nervous. Yeah, so I wanted to agree with you.
Yeah,
I think I said that.
Yes, but you followed the path of darkness and doubt, Russell.
I did.
You went down the primrose way.
Is it primrose to darkness? Okay.
It is. Primrose is the primrose path is the path that leads to hell. It's little known, trivial Shakespearean fact, but that is in fact.
Okay, fair enough. I'll allow it. What the hell?
All right. The chat, in all of their flowing, burgeoning positivity, connected with me on this and agreed, right?
Yeah.
Sadly, the two of you felt no faith in me and just let it slip past. Let those points, not only did they slip through your fingers, gentlemen, but right into my clutching grasp.
Yeah,
because we are now looking at the Baratheon and Targaryen factions.
Which I saw.
Not only have they been announced, but they have both been seen in the wild now, thanks to Penny Arcade Unplugged cardboard.
PAX Unplugged. Yeah.
Yes.
I was there. I saw them. They look awesome.
So that would be 3 for moi.
Yeah.
0 for vous. And 0 for vous.
So going into round 7, Craig,
he's making me think of that song. The way he's monologuing, it's making me think of that Heat Miser song, where it's like,
I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Sun. I'm Mr. Green Christmas.
He is like an evil prognosticator. It's terrible. All right.
The part that I was thinking about, Craig, you didn't get to it yet, was
tend to melt in my clutch.
Yeah, here's the line right here.
I'm too much.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, he's too much. Too much. All right.
He's Mr. Heat Miser.
Raef, what have you done?
Anyway, so at the end of round 7, the meds have been kicking in all day, man. But now,
round 6.
Now you're talking about, I think I did an overdose of prednisone, which is a steroid. So I think I am unstoppable at this point.
Hey, Russ,
not only am I not going to cough, but I am breathing.
He's eating the mushrooms, right?
3 men, all with healthy lungs, all at the same time. That's
what he's turning into, Russ? He's turning into you when you were beef drunk at Gen Con.
Yes,
but I am not drunk, my friend. I see everything with laser clarity.
Clarity. Okay. All right,
anyway,
Heat Miser. All right, Heat Miser.
Come on, Heat Miser.
What was the final score, Heat Miser, round 6?
This is why I'm drunk. I'm not drunk on meat, my friends, nor am I drunk on steroids. I am drunk on points.
Yes.
Russ has ended round 6 with 1 point.
Oh, my Lord.
And Raef has ended round 6 with 3 points. And I, my friends, have ended round 6 with an unprecedented 18 points.
All right.
That's unbelievable.
And I don't care. And I don't enjoy it. And that's why it's so funny.
It's true.
I'm just going to try to stay above 0, Raef, at this point.
Yeah, right.
Raef. Raef, what was your prediction? Why do we do this? Raef, what was your prediction for round 7?
You know what else this is like? Russ actually reminds me is back in the day. Remember when we're playing 40K, right?
Yeah.
And you're just getting annihilated, right? Your Lehman Russ is blown up. Your guys don't deep strike, and Craig's on the other side. And then you're like, I'm just going to try to win by keeping my commander alive. And
yes, that's exactly what's happening. I'm looking for ulterior objectives to enjoy myself. All right. Raef, what was your final prediction so we can end this?
Okay, round 7.
Slaughter? Dare we say slaughter?
Sure. I feel good about this.
Okay, go.
The Tom Clancy title, the Division 2, will beat the Division 1 as scored by Metacritic. And I pulled out a win because I just did the searching during Craig's monologuing. I mean, Heat Miser's song.
Smart.
The Division 2 scored an 82 on Metacritic, beating the Division 1 with an 80.
Nice, Raef. All right. I agreed with you.
Yes, smartly.
So I get a point. You get 2 points.
Ross, you are now at 2.
I'm feeling good. This might be my high score this year. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm at the high water mark.
Now, my Raef opinion is that I still like the Division 1. Although many fans like the Division 2 better, but I like the Division 1 better.
Yeah, Kent and I played Division 2 quite a bit. I liked it. I'm not a huge Tom Clancy game guy, I've kind of decided. Although,
yeah. It was a good game, but I like the Division 1 better.
The chat room agreed with you by them.
They did.
Yes.
All right. I have this here's my thing. I just wanted the world to be a better place.
You did. Yeah, that's true.
And so I had this very positive prediction for, better energy for the planet, cheaper, clean. And so I predicted that fusion would be proven real in 2019. There was some progress, but not really proven yet. Nuclear Gen 4 is a thing, but not fusion. So I'm going to have to take a loss on this. Fusion was not figured out. So
what does
Craig,
ITER mean?
Oh, it's a project.
Okay.
It's a whole thing, but it didn't matter. Didn't work out. So, I mean, they're still working on it. I think there's still good opportunity there. It's just not going to happen in 2020.
Okay.
So, unfortunately,
once again, I follow you down the technological valley.
Well, this is not an area I'm strong. I mean, I'm not really into, energy. I'm interested in it. I follow it as like a hobby, but, so unfortunately for me, I get a big -1. And Raef, you disagree with me, so you get a +1. All right, Craig, what was your final prediction?
All right,
rounding out possibly your best score ever.
Well, going back to things that were in my power, although I did not do this on purpose. I said that I was not going to paint more than 2 full armies from scratch in 2019, meaning I had never done it before. I don't have any models to build on. It's just coming out of the blue.
Right.
And we defined an army as having more than 20 models. So it had to be like not a skirmish level game or anything like that. And I said not including Joan of Arc because we knew that billions of models were coming for that.
Right.
Raef agreed with me. He believed in my lack of ability. Russ disagreed. And I would like to point out that here, agreeing and disagreeing, it seems to be counterintuitive because you're disagreeing means you think I'm better than I say I am.
Yes.
So in his agreeing with me, Raef is really giving me a backhanded little slap. But that's okay.
Correct.
Right. I had faith in you.
Me as well by disagreeing. Exactly. Well, I only painted one from scratch.
What about the Gene Stealers?
My Gene Stealer cult army was the only army I painted from scratch.
Wow, really?
I had started the Night's Watch.
You're wrong. What? You're wrong. You have an entirely painted Aeronautica Imperialis.
Which is less than 20 models.
Does it say? It does say 20 models. I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah. You're I painted a bunch, Russ, but I painted a crap ton of Death Guard.
A lot of Joan of Arc.
Add to my already existing Death Guard army, which I did not intend to do.
You painted Star Wars Legion.
Those on eBay. I painted lots of Star Wars Legion, but no new armies. And actually, I didn't paint that much. I painted a couple of units here or there.
Wow, you're a slacker.
But on the other hand, well, in my defense, the Gene Stealer Cult Army has over 200 models.
I know. And how many times did you play that game? Oh, sorry.
About 12.
A bunch.
Yeah, that's right. That's a lot, actually. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, so Craig, your first, maybe not your first, but a big negative there in the final round for you. You're not going. No, it's a positive. Wow, your negative prediction. You did.
But because because Raef agreed with me.
Yes.
Raef gets a point.
Yeah.
And I only get 2.
Yeah, which
and
is
Russ,
enough.
you didn't pick up any points.
No. So now, before you announce the final score, there is the bonus round.
Yep.
Right.
Which is Quidditch rules.
This is the most convoluted rule system, but basically what it means is last year we predicted who was going to win.
Yes.
And if you predicted them correctly, you get a bonus point.
That's
no, you win the game.
No, you just bonus.
I don't
No, it's
believe
Quidditch.
that.
It's you grab the snitch.
No.
Even grabbing the snitch doesn't mean you win. It just means it ends the game and you get 50 points.
I thought,
right.
Okay.
So, Raef, what did you predict? Who would you predict was going to win?
Craig.
Now, that was smart because I think you won. Craig and I both predicted Raef would win because I think I was just feeling generous.
Yeah.
So the chat room also predicted Craig, though. So the chat room is the winningest of all us last
I agree.
Chat room did really knock it out of the park on this one.
All right. So, Craig, what was the final score, Craig? Bring us home.
Final score, gentlemen. Russ maintains his point in the positive with 1 point.
Woohoo! I'll take it.
Raef in a late game surge goes up to 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
And nice. I got 20, breaking into the 20s for, I think, the first time.
I don't think anyone's ever scored in the 20s before. That seems like it might be a record.
That's ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
I feel good because you know what they say, Russ?
What's that?
A win against Russ is a win. So I beat you.
ABR, baby. ABR. Anybody but Russ.
Well, if that's your goal, Raef, you have succeeded.
That's right.
All right. Well, we'll take a quick break here, and then the next pip following shortly after this one.
We will take a quick break. It's up to you how long you take between one pip and the next.
That's
You'll be getting Craig some, I don't know what, anti-coffee.
That's right. 2020 coming soon, any minute.
Arriba.
Achievement unlocked! You've made it to the end of another D6 Generation episode, the podcast whose humor has universally been acclaimed as not too horrible. Please let us know what you thought of the show by emailing us at info@thed6generation.com. If for some inexplicable reason you actually enjoyed this show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. Thanks for listening and happy gaming.